Hello, welcome to my first video. In this one, I'm going to give an overview on shot charts. This shot chart design was popularized by Kirk Goldsberry, and you can gain quite a bit of insight from them. I did not create these shot charts. I used code Todd Schneider made publicly available, so thank you to him, and I'll make another video showing you how to access this tool. I put some information about these two in the description. Let's get started. What this shot chart for Giannis can tell you is where he has shot the ball, how often he shoots the ball in that location, and how efficient he is at shooting the ball in that location. The larger a hexagon is, the more often he shoots the ball in that location, and the smaller it is, the less often he shoots in that location. The color scale at the bottom of the chart tells you how efficient he is in that location, with field goal percentage being the measure that determines efficiency. So from looking at the color scale, we could see that players would like for their hexagons to be yellow or green because that means they're extremely efficient in that area of the court, and would like to avoid having any blue or indigo areas. Overall, this paints a nice picture of a player's strengths and weaknesses on offense. It doesn't tell you anything about defense, so shot charts cannot be used for an all-encompassing analysis of a player. I personally really like Giannis' shot chart because what people say about him on TV and on radio align almost exactly with what the data shows you. So let's get into the data. So you can see right around the basket, he's an absolute monster, and we already knew this. His efficiency here is elite, hence the yellow, and this is where most of his shots are taken, hence the large hexagons. His next most taken shot are three-pointers right around the top of the arc, where he shoots mostly below league average in terms of efficiency, depending on where he stands. You can see he's about league average though, directly at the top of the arc, but the further he strays left or right from the top of the arc, his efficiency drops quite a bit. Everywhere else on the court, the hexagons are very small, meaning that he doesn't shoot the ball there very much, which appears to be a good thing because except for the left side, he's very inefficient. And yes, while the yellow is on the right of the image, it is on the left relative to where the players stand on the floor. These are the numbers also pulled from Todd Schneider's tool, and they are the information that was used to build the shot chart we were just looking at. It tells you how many shots were attempted and how many were made in each area of the court. And from here, field goal percentage is calculated for each area and compared to the league average. As we saw in the shot chart, we could see from looking at field goal attempts, most of Giannis' shots are taken right around the rim, i.e. the restricted area. And the next most are taken at the top of the arc, which in this tool is called above the break three. We can also see just how dominant Giannis is around the rim, with his field goal percentage nearly 10% greater than the league average. And an interesting stat calculated from these numbers is points per shot. As you can maybe tell from the name, this tells you the expected points scored per each shot attempt, and the calculation for this is very simple. All you do is take the number of points that could be scored from the shot attempt and multiply the player's field goal percentage in that area of the floor. So for Giannis' point per shot in the restricted area, you take 2, which is the number of points that can be scored if he makes a basket in the restricted area, and multiply that by 72.9%, which is his field goal percentage in the restricted area, and that gives you 1.46 points per shot in the restricted area. When comparing this to the league average, it gives us just another way to see how Giannis is so dominant in the basket, around the basket, than the average player. The same calculation is done when looking at three-point shots, but now you just swap the 2 out with a 3. So 3 times 29.9% for above the break threes for Giannis gives him a 0.9 points per shot. And we can see that he is less efficient than the league average at threes when he shoots it from the top of the arc. But overall, Giannis has great shot selection. He's most efficient under the basket and thus shoots most of his shots there. but his jumper isn't very strong. But instead of shooting very efficient mid-range jumpers and taking shots in the low post, he shoots most of his jumpers behind the three-point line where the shot has a greater points per shot value. While his left corner threes do have the highest points per shot with 1.88, he has only taken 8 shots there, so you can't conclude that he needs to start shooting more threes from the corner. Plus, that doesn't really fit his game, so it wouldn't make sense for him to do that. We could also see from this table why the mid-range jumper and big men who live in the low post are dying out from the NBA. These two shot types had the lowest points per shot at 0.8 and 0.81. So if you have a player who is exactly average at each shot on every location of the floor, they would be much better off not shooting in either of these areas. This isn't to say that no one should shoot in the mid-range or you can't succeed by having a dominant post game though. If a player makes a high percentage of their shots in one of these areas, it will be reflected in their points per shot, and they may be better off shooting there. That's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and tell me what you thought of it in the comments. Thank you.